去企呢邊，
Yeah.
想去企呢邊。我哋行嘅啫，你跟佢哋去啊！你哋唔行，你哋行啊！
我哋咪剪啊！我哋睇景嗰種咪一拍影啊！我哋揸咯。
阿月，你跟拖。
點啊？跟拖定行啊
steht drauf, Stunde $36. Das ist hier fest auf die Autos eingemalt. Und wenn er dann sagt, 80
Vete a adelantar.
dann ist das schon recht spitz gewesen, ja.
我問你，你話你唔知？
No, I put one saying that girlfriend you're like, no.
Yeah, you can move to the front.
I didn't say that. I said girlfriend.
Wir haben nur keine Deutschen
16.
Happy, happy day, happy, happy day.
Das war das Problem.
你哋係
拿開啦，係啦，係攞啦。
睇啲細字呢？
Okay.
But you have to buy what? That's okay, give it to how much you have to buy?
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
How every one of you feels?
Wonderful.
Muy bien.
Boy, sounds like a swinging group. It's very important that sounds that way because that's the only way you're gonna have a good time. When you make everything positive, right?
Yes.
First of all, I want to welcome you all to the Paradise Island, Puerto Rico. I know you're having a good time, each one of you, and looks like already you gained about 15 pounds. I'm sorry, but I promise to be like George Washington. Never lie. So, but let me tell you, keep doing it. You are not in a ship. You are not in a ship to go on a diet, right? And if you're gonna gain 15, 20 pounds, is Jose. Jose, can you see? I can see, all right. Yes. I can see that I have lots of beautiful people in my bus. The ugly ones we leaving behind. Right? If I'm going to start giving you information about Puerto Rico, I got to start by saying that Puerto Rico was discovered by Christopher Columbus, November 19, 1493, and all of a sudden we become part of Spain. We were part of Spain until 1898. War shows up, and all of a sudden we become part of the United States. 1898. 1917, citizenship was given to the people of the island. So anyone living in Puerto Rico in 1917 or born after 1917, automatically an American citizen with all the responsibilities, except we don't vote for the President of the United States yet. And we don't pay federal taxes yet. There is a project in Washington that at the moment, if they approve that one, we're gonna begin to pay federal taxes and vote for the president. Which actually, if that happens, I'm gonna call some of you so you can teach me how to vote. Why I say that? Because candidates running for governor in Puerto Rico, the one that got the most vote is the winner. Over there, you could finish second and be the president. some kind of a trick that I gotta learn. And don't send me to Florida. I don't know what Florida got to do with that. But they say Florida is a bush. It's true? The governor of Florida is a bush, right? And the White House is a bush. Well, we got a bush in Puerto Rico. I'm telling you, the best. Especially the other day was 98 degrees temperature. And boy, we need something cold, nice. So we got the Bush beer. Fantastic. Yes, fantastic. Let me mention to you also that from 1898 to 1948, governors in Puerto Rico used to be appointed by Washington. It's 1948 when the people of the island elect the first native governor, Luis Muñoz Marin. He was the governor for 16 years. And he was a governor that created the status that Puerto Rico has at the present time. Estado Libre Asociado, which means the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. When we talk about Commonwealth, you know that in the United States we have 4 states that are also Commonwealth. I'm sure you know the 4 of them, but in case you forgot one, let me refresh you. I'm talking about the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and also the Commonwealth of Kentucky. What is a big difference between those 4 and Puerto Rico? Those 4 that I just mentioned to you, they have full representation in Washington. So many senators, so many representatives. In the case of Puerto Rico, it's only one person. It's called the commissioner in Washington. He's the one that will take all the information from Puerto Rico into Washington, but he cannot vote. A big difference. And let me mention to you that we just entered what we call the new city of San Juan. And you're gonna hear me saying new city. It's 2 reasons why. Number one, this whole area used to be separate from San Juan before 1951. It's 1951 when they decide to expand the city, makes it bigger, so this whole area becomes a new part. In age, the same way. We got homes here that they may be 60, 70, 80 years old, but they still new compared to the old San Juan. Either way we look at it, this is a new part. We're gonna go by, I want you to look to your right at the Minilla Tunnel. Minilla Tunnel on the right side. You see it?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, that is the longest and biggest tunnel in Puerto Rico. It's about 300 yards, but since it's the only one in Puerto Rico, it's the longest and the biggest. Right? We are coming into Santurce section. All this is one part of what we call the new city of San Juan. question people ask me is about gasoline. Gasoline in Puerto Rico, so you can compare with how much you pay in the United States. We're gonna go by many gasoline stations, and you're gonna see 79, 80 cents, 82 cents a liter. Okay, I always say 82 cents a liter multiplied by 4 comes to be 310. No. 8 times 4, 32, 320, 330. Deduct a couple of cents. So we're talking about $3.25 a gallon. Okay? $3.25 a gallon. Approximate. I'm talking about high test. But why I say multiply by 4, because American gallon is 3.8 liters 1 gallon. Okay? 3.8 1 gallon. Now here to the left, we're gonna go by the type of apartment. Government of Puerto Rico started to build 50 years ago, where they start moving families from poor section into those type of apartments. Families pay according to their income. So you will find there families paying $5 a month, $50 a month,
Holy.
$250 a month.
Holy.
The difference between one family and another one is the income. And one thing, look at those houses. Everybody has DirecTV, Dish Network, and you name it, they have it. And those are the poor ones in Puerto Rico.
Oh my.
Why I mention all these? Look at that one over there, he got 2. But why I'm mentioning this, because that's the only way you will have a better idea how people in the island live, okay? If you live way up in the country, way up in the feet above sea level, you'll find electricity, water, color television, you name it, they have it. Now, another thing that I didn't mention to you that I'm going to do now, because we still more and more to go on the tour. I always like people to ask me questions, okay? I believe that the more questions you ask me, the more information you're going to take home. And the more people in the state going to know about Puerto Rico. So, I'm different from other tour guys. Other tour guys, when they're going to start the tour, they look up to God and says, oh God, I hope they don't ask me any questions. I'm the opposite. I want you to ask me questions, because how people in the state or whatever country you live gonna know about Puerto Rico if you don't ask me questions, right? And I promise you 99%. Yeah, you know why I do better than George Washington? Because I don't have Martha next to me. Who was Martha? Martha, the wife of George Washington, right?
Yeah.
It's a good thing you are in shape. Okay, we are to the right, let me tell you.
Oh.
1980, 1978, most of these areas used to be just private homes. These construction companies begin to buy the homes and come up with a condominium. And but they make, let's call it a mistake, okay? I'm gonna call it a mistake. They made a mistake. What? They keep buying homes, destroy the home, come up with a condominium, But what happened? They supposed to, some space have to be left between buildings. Why? Because Puerto Rico law says that all beaches in Puerto Rico are public.
Yeah.
All of them. Nobody owns a beach in Puerto Rico. We all own the beach. You got that one? So what happened? The ones on the left, all of a sudden, especially the one in this area on the left, when they wanted to go to the beach, they gotta walk 10 blocks to find an exit toward the beach. And what they took the case to court, the court says you got to leave the gate open, one of the gate open. And that's what they're doing now. They leaving a gate open from 6 in the morning to 7 p.m. And by doing that, 7 p.m., now people can go swimming whatever beach they want, and at 7 o'clock they can close the gate. Let me see my friends here. Because they do that in many places where the law says also that the main streets of the city or whatever belongs to everyone, right? And they close those. Well, now they gotta leave a gate open, but I'll show you that later.
Jose, how much is it to get a condo?
It depends on what area. Those condos that we just went by in the 80s when they destroyed the homes that they bought and built a condominium. At that time, 1980, 1982, they start selling those apartments for $40,000 an apartment.
That was 82?
And in 82, 84, now, if you're gonna buy one, you gotta pay $300,000. In other words, in 25 years, went up incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Property, you have property, you a winner. It's the opposite when you buy a new car. You buy a new car, you want to get rid of that car 3 weeks later. You're gonna lose money, wind up losing money. Especially here, look at this area here. This is Punta Las Marias. This is an area that if you own a house here, let me tell you, you're blessed because you get up in the morning, look at that ocean every day. You don't need to go to a psychiatric or a psychologist, right? Now, if you bought the home recently and you pay $700,000 for the home, then you pay $3,000-4,000 a month, right? $3,000-4,000 a month rent. Then you need a psychiatric or a psychologist to help you out on how to maneuver your money. Would you like to make a stop here so you can make some nice pictures around here? Let's do that.
Oh, come on, guys, we need somebody to go out picture. Come on, yeah, he will. Because they're not gonna be, come on, girl. You take one up. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Vui cô à, này đâu à?
What's your camera now?
One more, one more.
Oh, beautiful, Christina.
Đấy.
Có phải影一張喺嗰度啦，個背喺啲屋後面，你企喺度嘛？攞下拍。
1、2、3。
係啦，上去啦，唔係咁水嘢啦。哇！呢啲狼人沙田鋪，我哋嗰日啊唔游得水嘅呢啲嚇，唔知有幾多嘢。
The gates, and I just want to see one of the. You see one of the gates open right here?
No, no open.
You see it on your right?
Oh, right here.
In other words, 6 in the morning to 7 p.m. That gate gotta be open. And definitely good idea because at night, only the fish swim.
Die eine Dame hat mal gesagt, wir kleine Kolonie, die Zimmer wären zu klein, haben die gesagt.
Wir sind zufrieden.
Ja, wir auch. Aber ich sag ja, wir kommen ja aus der Provinz.
Ja, ja, nee. Vor allem, wir haben jetzt aber nicht den Vergleich. Wir waren zwar auf dem Elbenbild von Stockholm nach Riga. Da waren die spartanische Verhältnisse. Im Gegensatz zu hier. War auch schön. Aber in Graminen, da muss man einen Betonplatten zu bewegen und so Sachen.
Also wir waren mal von Moskau nach St. Petersburg. Und da waren die auch erheblich kleiner, die Familien. Das fanden wir schon toll.
Naja,
Man
muss aus allem was machen. Ne?
Genau so.
Andere Länder, andere sind.
Haben wir zu Hause, müssen wir zu Hause bleiben.
Genau, das ist es natürlich. Genau. Wer weiß, wie es bei denen zu Hause aussieht. Genau.
Zu Hause haben wir einen Butler, hier haben wir keinen.
Ja. Deswegen fahren wir ab und zu mal weg, um das gewöhnliche Leben zu leben. Ja, genau.
No, you remember last night you were saying you were yesterday.
This one is already
Any questions up to now?
Why do they have so much gates on the windows?
Okay, that was a good question that somebody asked me before too. Okay, let me tell you that iron work you see on the fences, you see on the homes, that is a style that arrived in Puerto Rico about 150 years ago, where they start arriving here to make the home look fancy and pretty. And when you take two homes, you leave one plain, you put iron work on the other one, you see a big difference. The value of the home with iron work is more.
With the iron
Now,
work?
huh?
With the iron work, the value is
Yes,
more?
the value is bigger. In other hands, nowadays, if you, whoever puts a gate on, would be for two purposes, for beauty and for protection. Now we have problems like any other big city. About 35, 40 years ago, there was a big crime situation begin to show up, not only in Puerto Rico, all over the world. And the governor of Puerto Rico decides to fight that out. And what he did, he doubled the amount of police. How he do that? Well, the state police with the navy blue uniform stayed the way it was. But then they create the municipal police. Each town in Puerto Rico has both state and municipal. The municipal police has a green uniform. That's why you're gonna see two uniforms instead of one. And we got also what we call the tourist zone police. So we got in that area, in the tourist sections, we got three kinds of police. The state police, municipal police, and the tourist zone police that has a white hat. Those one are prepared with two language and to help the tourists. So what happened in the tourist sections? Is a police in every block because so much police, right? So actually, and that's why I say that Puerto Rico, in the tourist sections in particular, they're 98% secure. Never say 100, but that will be a lie. No country has 98 either. Puerto Rico do. Here to the left, you're looking at St. John's School, and you're looking at Robinson School. Why I'm pointing this out? Because in the 50s,
Starbucks.
when Operation Butch